Hi there, welcome back, and we have a new champion. Sean O'Malley is the new bantamweight champion. What do you think about our champion already there, Rocky?
I'm excited for him. Even though I didn't think he was going to win, I really thought Aljamain was going to have a better performance. But as always, that backstep, Sean O'Malley, sniper fucking headshot, he's just amazing at doing so. When people are kind of like chasing those punches, and he just lines it up perfectly, and he did so. I know Aljamain. Yeah, I know. In like going in the first, Aljamain went for a takedown, and he was able to get a single leg, but Sterling defended it perfectly. And Sean O'Malley defended perfectly, and he just was able to get out of it and keep it at a stand-up fight, and he delivered. There's nothing else to be said. That was a beautiful fight for Sean O'Malley.
It sure was. He did. I think he did everything right. To be honest though, when he walked out, to me he looked nervous. He didn't look like he was ready for the fight. And then which confirmed it with me. I think it was DC said, "Man, this guy looked nervous coming out, but when he got inside the cage, was a different story." So I'm like, oh, okay. So it wasn't me just saying that. So I was kind of like, okay, well, my fighter's going to win. Aljamain Sterling's going to win, But like you said, the second round, right? It was second round stoppage. Yeah. He caught him. And then Sterling just walked into that punch. O'Malley set it up right. He knew, or Sterling was going to move forward at that time. And like you said, he just connected right, and he was down. And to me, when I first saw this, I'm like, why is they stopping the fight? He's still moving. He's still going in the ground. He's still covering up. And I was like, no. It was too early. But Sterling didn't really fight it too much, because he stayed on the ground. It'll be different if he would got up right away, followed the ref and say, why did you stop it, and all that. He was on the ground for a while, and he said that they asked him, some questions, do you know what state you're fighting in? He said, I had no idea. He goes, I couldn't remember what state I was fighting in. And the other question he was able to answer. But he said that, he felt he probably still could have gone on. But to me, is when they stopped it, Sterling didn't put up a fight, so to me it was a good stoppage. To me, I felt it was a little early, but if Sterling was okay with it.
Yeah, because right when he stopped, he was like, when he rolled over to his knees, but he took a punch as he was rolling over directly to the head. It was like this hammer fist, and Sean O'Malley doesn't have to get down on his knees to throw his hammer fist. He's long and lanky, so he could deliver standing up. And he took another punch to the side of the head. And that's what I felt like. I wasn't too mad at the stoppage. Initially, I was like, oh, man. I thought he was going to, cover up a little bit and then get back up. But, yeah Sterling did not, protest the outcome of it. He just took it on the chin. And he's like, hey, I got to get back and get better. When they asked him about the 145 move, he's like, if I can't, handle Sean O'Malley's punch, I can't imagine what Alexander Volkanovski is going to be like, So,
yeah,
and Alexander Volkanovski comes with a whole lot more power and a lot more juice in the tank too. He doesn't get tired for 5 rounds. He's a different monster compared to Sean O'Malley. But yeah, so that's what he pretty much said. I know I kind of changed up the words, but I'm just pretty much delivering his message in a better way. Shout out to Sean O'Malley. He delivered. And that was it was a good, quick fight. I wasn't mad at it being so quick. I was hoping Sterling would have, did some damage to Sean O'Malley. He didn't, unfortunately. But that was Sean O'Malley's fight, at the end of the day. And, yeah, there's nothing else to say. Aljamain chased the punches, and he paid the price for that.
Now, what I liked about after the fight was that Sterling gave all the respect to O'Malley. He said he did a good fight. Whatever, and during the ring interview, and then during the post fight press conference, he said, I'm not going to take anything away from him. I had a good training camp. I'm not going to say I was tired or whatever. I was injured. He goes, I was 100%. I thought my training camp was great. My training camp was good. You know, it was all the respect for him. He's the one who made the good game plan and stuck to it and won. So I like the way that he gave him he was humble about it. He gave the respect to Sean as being the new champ. Cause you know, before this, you know, it was going back and forth, but to me is before the fight, if there's some back and forth, it's a promotion, you know, they're promoting the fight. You know, then afterwards, usually they, you know, shake hands and whatever. But to me, that's what you got to do to sell this fight, to be on the main card and to be the main fight of the main card. So, but it looked like they were okay they were giving each other respect at the end of the fight. Were you able to see the post conference with Sean O'Malley?
I only saw clips. I didn't watch the whole thing.
All right. For what I saw, okay, well, first let's answer this. Do you think Sterling is going to get a rematch? I didn't say does he deserve one. Is he going to get a rematch?
I don't think so. I think.
But see, why is everybody? Well, not everybody, but some people are saying that he's not going to get a rematch. To me, I think he earned his rematch by defending his title multiple times and fighting like other people. I mean, like he fought some good names. So I don't think why they wouldn't give him a rematch, you know, for this fight. You know?
I mean, I'm not too sure exactly why, but there's like a lot of other names on this roster that have been waiting for a chance, you know. I mean, I know Aljamain kind of ran through a good portion of them, but his gym partner, Merab, right? He definitely deserves a shot at the title. And I think also what kind of hurts Aljamain was like he was already talking like he's already like defeated the division, and now he's gonna move up to 145s for like, you know, for a new journey, new challenges, and then down this happened, you know. But it's kind of like you already packed your bags up, boy. You gotta keep it moving, you know. And so I don't know. I don't know what happened. So.
Because I know they asked Sean O'Malley, like, okay, does Sterling get a rematch? Because he goes, Sterling asked for a rematch. Would you give him the rematch? He just says he needs to move up, and that was it. Like he kind of he blew him off. Like he blew that question off. He needs to move up. So he's not even looking to fight Sterling again. You know, I'm not sure why, what it is. You know, maybe he don't think he could win the second fight, you know, or is he scared that he won't?
Or maybe it was just too easy of a fight, and they feel like maybe Sean is just too much of a stronger fighter compared to, you know, what the rest of the roster could provide, you know, in terms of the entertainment, the good fights.
Yeah, I mean, because I know Sterling could talk the talk and promote the fight, but I know Sean O'Malley wants to fight your fighter, Cheetah Vera.
Yeah, that was I wasn't expecting that call out, but I think that's a good fight. Only because like, how old is Cheetah Vera? I can't remember his age, but I know he's definitely on the higher end of that. I want to say he is. I gotta look it up really quick, but. Yeah, so he's 30. I don't know why I felt like he was older, but I just thought that was a strange call-out. I was hoping that he was going to entertain the Merab potential fight, you know?
But Merab is injured still. I think he won't be available. Maybe we're lucky to the end of the year or maybe possibly the beginning. But Merab is injured still. So, I mean, there goes that one, you know? Mm-hmm. And... Corey's Sanderberg, whatever, I forget his name. He's injured too.
Yeah, Sanhagen.
He's injured too. You know, Henry Cejudo just fought. You know, lost. So then, who's next? Then, if it's not going to be Vera, who else will be there to fight? Sean O'Malley.
But you know what that is. So back on, I'm looking at it right now at UFC 252. Cheeto Marlon Vera, he TKO'd Sean O'Malley.
Okay, but then so this is where it kind of gets a little weird. All right. Mm-hmm. Sean O'Malley said, because they asked him, like, why do you want to fight Vera? Is it because to get the revenge match? Well, he said, well, his fight is not on my record. Right now, I'm undefeated, whatever it is. Like, his fight doesn't count because it wasn't on his record. For whatever reason, they didn't put it on his record. So that fight, it doesn't even exist. But then he said, well, yeah, I do want to get revenge on Vera for that. So Sean O'Malley was kind of going back and forth. He said one thing, but then said another thing. So, but in the long run, I think he really does want to get this revenge back from Vera. He could be kind of, I won't say solidified, but he could get that loss back.
It's kind of like a question mark, right, for him that he needs to answer for. So, yeah, I don't know why it's not on the record. I can't see why it isn't, but maybe it was like a catchweight fight or something. Something that doesn't go on like his regular record. Yeah, I have no clue.
According to the commission, works. Didn't put it on there.
Or maybe Vera came up dirty, or I don't know. Who knows? I have no clue. So, yeah. So I'll be excited to see that because Chito Vera, man, he's a monster, but he's like a calm beast, right? He's like reading you. He's collecting information during the short exchanges in the first round, and then he starts to open up slowly, and then he lets it all out towards the end. And that's what he did at that fight of the night too, as well. So he definitely is very precise in his game plan, and he always follows that game plan. So that's going to be an interesting fight. And with Sean O'Malley now wearing the crown for that division in bantamweight, it's definitely going to be like a cool little dynamic to see them go at it. But yeah, we'll see because bantamweight, it's still stacked, right? They have plenty of other fighters here in that we have Merab,
a lot of fighters are just fought. A lot of them are just fought right now.
Yeah, so we still have Merab, like you mentioned, is hurt. Henry Cejudo, I don't count him.
Yeah.
Corey Sanhagen, he's there, but injured as well. Peter Yan, but I don't know where Peter Yan is even at anymore these days. And then, who else do we got? We got Rob Font. I guess that's where it kind of starts to slow down. But anyways, I'm just excited to see where his next fight lands. We'll see, but only time will tell at this point. Only speculations, and that's an interesting call out for him to drop down to ask Chito Vera to fight. We weren't expecting that, but hey, that's a question mark on his record that he wants to check off, so I give it to him.
And Vera he didn't even think that Sean O'Malley was going to call him out. So, he's in the perfect position to just be on Sean O'Malley's next fight.
Mm-hmm.
If Sanhagen wasn't injured, maybe I could see something, but I don't, maybe, but Vera's at the right place at the right time, and like we just went over the fights, who's left over. If Merab was okay, then I see that happening. Or maybe if Merab gets better, maybe Merab and Sanhagen get together and do something. But Merab is number one, so I don't know. But Merab never wanted to fight Sterling, so maybe that's his fault for waiting so long, for not wanting to fight. That's his fault,
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he did mess up his chance. But I know, because you mentioned Vokes, going to 145, finding Volkanovski. I forget his name.
Volkanovski.
I was just call him Volk. Yeah,
Alex.
So, but Folk said that he lost his opportunity with that loss to fight him. Yep. So he'll have to work his way up a little bit. Maybe not as down, maybe the top 5, and see if he could get into Volk's frame, But like you said, he said it himself. If Sean did this to me, Volk will probably do something even worse to him. And it's a toss-up. So then, if his 145s are limited, going to 145, then he'll have to stick to 135. But I know it's tough for him to make those weight cuts. So he'll have a lot of thinking to do on what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for this guy to come back and see what's going to happen. There's a lot of scenarios like we just talked about that could happen. And Vera versus O'Malley, you know, again, could be in December too. You never know. I mean, because right now there's a lot of talk about December. I haven't heard much about November. Maybe whatever doesn't make December, it gets to November. So,
right.
Let's see, man. Anything else on that one?
No, that's it. No, short, quick fight, but it was good.
But, you know, with something else, a side note, is that Sean O'Malley has a brand. You know, he has this merchandise. I don't know if you saw, he has boxing gloves with some artwork on them. So those are already out. And then an hour after he won, his website already had merchandise as the champion on there. So that is a person who has a plan and who's going to be financially, you know, stable on that. Like, he's making good financial decisions. Like, he knows what he's worth. He has a brand out there and he knows how to push it. Yeah. Because that's what I keep turning to, like, pushing. Like, I'm pushing the brand. I mean, this guy is smart. You know, he's you know, I'm going to keep putting my money on him.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. And then we have Zhang versus Amanda.
Yeah.
Dude. What do you say about this fight?
So it was definitely one-sided. I'd give credit to Amanda Lemos, though. She has a hell of a chin. The ability to endure such punishment for 5 rounds is crazy, and yet still be close to trying to submit Zhang Weili here and there with that little, like, it was like a modified, I don't even know, it was a Darce choke from the bottom, and she had it in pretty tight, but it wasn't tight enough for Zhang Weili. Like, Zhang Weili already knew she was going to win this fight. Ain't no way she was going to let that choke from a non-dominant position tap her out, you know? So
yeah. That
was crazy. I was impressed to see Amanda Lemos endure all that pain and yet still try to go for a submission here and there, like, out of just risking it, you know? There's nothing for her to lose anyways. I give her credit. I was impressed by her fucking chin.
Now, did you see the number of strikes? Did you get the final number?
I believe it was 288, right?
296 versus 29.
Okay, oh shit. 296.
That's only 10% of what Amanda only threw 10% of Wayne Lee threw. 10%.
That's insane. And like I mentioned during our tough recording, but one of the judges gave Amanda a round. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm so sorry for her. Oh, come on, man.
I guess he was impressed by the Darce choke too, you know? I guess if that was the exact same round too. But I was so dumbfounded by that one judge. But yeah, Zhang Weili, man, she is a cold-hearted champion, man. She will deliver. She's relentless. And she smiles at the end of the fight, you know. So it's cool to see this humble lady from China just be a complete freaking monster and just tear it up in the cage for 5 rounds and all the significant strides, nearly 300. But she set the record for the strawweight for women, and to be honest, probably for the entire women's like roster, she probably set that freaking record. But that was impressive that she won. I was surprised she didn't win by a TKO, to be honest. But other than that, everything else was impressive.
Yeah, the scorecard was 50-44, 50-43, 49-45. So that's what you're talking about, like that one judge. Like, and she had 16 minutes of control time. 3 rounds, over 3 rounds of control time. That is just crazy.
Insane.
So then, who is next for Wayne Lee? Who is next for her?
For Wayne Lee?
I was saying Tatiana. You know, I think she might. To me, I like this fighter. She impressed me, so I'm already ready for her. But remember, they want to go to China, and Dana was saying yes that he wants to get China, and of course, who else would they put in China was the champ, you know, Zhang Weili, but Yan just came off a good win, so she's already in the contendership to be the next person.
Yeah.
Or do they put Yan and Tatiana in the China card to for that one, and or that they put Tatiana and Weili in the China card, or Yan and Weili in the China card, because they're both from China.
I think that'd be really cool if they could put Yan in there or Zhang. That would be really cool for the country of China to have two of their women fighting for the championship. Like, they win no matter what, so it would just be this cool fight for China. But at the end of the day, I mean, they do have a stacked top 5 for the strawweight division for women. So, I mean, it can go either way. Rose is still number 2. I haven't seen her fight for a minute after her loss to Zhang Weili.
After Zhang Weili, she fought Esparza, and she won Esparza in May of 2022. But
Esparza won.
Oh shit, you're right. She won.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, so she beat Zhang.
She beat Zhang.
Yeah, and then she came in, and then Esparza just took it from her, and then Esparza lost it to Zhang. So, it'd
be good to get that win back.
It'd be nice to see Rose come back. That'd be pretty cool for her to beat Zhang for that, after she's had a back and forth exchange with Zhang. But I mean, we'll see.
All right, next we got Garry versus Neil Magny. What a fight on this one. Well, if you could call it a fight. To me, it looks like it was one-sided. Ian wanted to take his time, go the distance, and I'm sure he could have finished this fight earlier, but I think he was just playing it safe. I don't know what was going on with him. What do you think there?
I was blown away that he was so dominant, yet not trying to finish earlier in the fight. He waited till like the last 30 seconds and then went for the finish, but he dominated from the very get-go, right, from the kicks. The kicks alone was just horrendous to watch for Neil Magny. And I kind of like feel bad for the guy, right, because he's the one that stepped into this fight a week and a half notice, knowing who he's going to fight with Garry, with the last fighter dropping out due to injury, I believe. But, I mean, he matched in size for Garry, because Garry is a taller guy for the welterweight, and Neil's pretty tall as well. So I was expecting something more, but man, Neil Magny, he just ate those kicks. It was bad. Like from the get-go, like the first kick, he fell down immediately because he couldn't find a good balance and enough for like handling taking kicks, and it was just sad to watch. And then Garry is now
sad to watch. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
it was sad to watch.
I just couldn't watch it. My knees were hurting, man. I've been fat and getting older now, so like it hurts my knees to watch that kind of shit now. But Garry, he's turning into like this bad guy, right? He's building up this like facade of him being the bad guy, talking shit now, and like Neil Magny barely walked to the door and getting into this fight, right? Like in terms of like preparation for this fight, and he just got thrown into the card. And Neil Magny was Garry was already talking shit from the get go, like as if like Neil Magny's been calling them out for months at this point. And but yeah, Garry throwing the finger between rounds.
Now, did you see the pre-fight press conference?
I watched a little bit. I missed that exchange, but I did see that Garry was talking a lot of crap as well. I'm not too sure what set him off, but
yeah, I know he would just make up something. But he didn't let Magny talk at all. Like every time he would say, "No, you're not gonna talk." I don't know how he says it, but you're not gonna talk. He didn't let him talk. He would just give him all kinds of shit, and I was all like blown away. I'm like, "Fucking Garry, check his ass out!" Like he's doing all the heel, Is like, man. But it fucking worked. I mean, whatever he's doing is working, I was kind of like, come on, Garry, why are you being that guy? But I'm like, shit, you know what? If that's what you got to do to promote, if that's how you got to do to get yourself out there, fuck it, do it. Yeah. And it's working for him. I mean, he talked a lot of shit to Neil Magny. And Neil Magny is a tough dude, But like you said, flicked him off. Didn't give him no shed of respect, after the fight, I think he did, but other than that,
not really, to be honest. Do you not remember? Like he was like, I just made this UFC. Or I just made him look like he never fought a fight in the UFC ever.
Oh my god, yes.
He was still peeing on his grave at this point. Like man, Ian Garry's turning into a dog, and it's so funny because like when he was first up and coming, and I was always mentioning right early this year about like how excited I was to watch Ian Garry because he's just a great overall fighter. He has multiple aspects of his fight that he brings to the table, and he's always thinking about it too. He takes back the feedback from the coaches in between rounds, and he's even telling them like, "Oh, I could have did this better" and stuff like that. And but now he's just turning into a monster at this point. He's kind of feeding into the whole McGregor path, and there's a short clip, and I'll send it to you later, but he's literally saying the exact same words, even in post-fight interviews, saying the exact same thing that Conor McGregor was saying. He's like, oh, we're not here to pass the time, we're here to take over, some shit like that. I forgot exactly what it was. Conor McGregor said those exact same words, and Ian Garry mimicked him. So, but hey, like you said, like he's promoting himself at this point, and Daddy Dana, he likes those guys that talk a lot of shit, drive up those pay-per-view fights, and those buys. So at the end of the day, like that's what's going to shoot him up and earn some more money because you could still put in the hard work and win the same fights. But if you're talking a lot more shit, delivering all the entertainment leading into people buying this pay-per-view event, then Daddy Dana's going to be excited, and he'll add you to some more cards if you're able to fight, So shout out to Ian Garry, man. I can't take nothing away from him. I'm more of a humble guy. I like to see them be a little bit more humble, but hey, whatever. I'm enjoying it too. So.
And now on the day of the fight, I think it was the day of the fight. Did you see where he went to a pub and did a workout session there? Did you see that one?
No.
Let me show you that one. Yeah, I was like, dude, like in the middle of a pub, just shut the damn thing down. Like everybody's all around him. Let me show you one. Oh shit! Hold on. Changes. Leave the site. Shit. Hang on.
You're supposed to close out Pornhub and then open up the new window.
Remember when I said it was the starting show? You're gonna fucking find out why.
What do you say about that? Isn't that freaking awesome?
Yeah, he's just loving the whole Irish culture, and since they weren't, Boston, right? There's a lot of Irish people in Boston, so I think he was just embracing it and having this building up that community, right? And that's what he's doing. He's double downing on his investment in his people, and what better place since you're in United States and of all cities, you're in Boston, right? So you got a lot of your own people who come from the same background, and he's over here just in a fucking bar, just practicing. But he has an awesome fucking corner. He has Gilbert Burns in his corner for that fight too. That's insane. That's top tier jiu-jitsu people right there as well for grappling. So Ian Garry's well rounded. His coaching staff is amazing. Neil Magny was set up to lose his entire time. The poor guy.
Set up to lose.
This poor guy, man. I almost feel like as bad for him as I did for Khamzat versus what's his name? I'm gonna pull it up because I don't want to let go of this one right now. I'm gonna say it right now. 1 second.
Chimavi with Holland Burns.
Yeah, Holland. Kevin Holland. I don't know why. I had James in my head. I don't know why. I had a J sound in my head. But no, Kevin Holland.
I was in your head? Is that what you said? I was in your head there?
Yeah, up here. Not
thinking about me?
Not in this area. Oh, God.
Okay.
No.
Get you all excited.
Sick. No, Kevin Holland, right? Kevin Holland had to step in for that fight. The day of, a day before, because Hamza fucked up the whole card, and then Kevin Holland got set up to fail, man, instantly. And Neil Magny had a week and a half to set himself up to lose this fight, unfortunately. But hey, shout out. He's a high-end competitor, and I applaud that guy for going into that ring with Ian Garry, but it did not turn out well for his knees.
All right, so who's next for Neil Magny? Neil, what the fuck? Ian Garry. What is next for Ian Garry?
I would like to see. What's funny is that Gilbert Burns is also in that division, by the way.
Well, Ian said, he goes, I was actually thinking about calling out Gilbert Burns, but I'm like, oh, I can't. He's on my, he's on my team, whatever. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
No. But then he called Stephen Thompson, the Wonder Boy.
Stephen Thompson, yeah.
But Stephen Thompson said no. I think he's already in the work with something. So I know they're probably working with UFC because of the last fight, and he wants his money. So I think they got something working with Stephen Thompson. But Stephen Thompson's worked number 7. So he already passed JF Neal because, hey, he didn't want to fight him. So he was at rank number 8. So he went to number 7.
Yeah.
But according to Dana during the press conference, he goes, we have a blueprint for him already. And they want him in Madison and MSG.
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden. So they want him there. So if he's going to be on the Dublin card, he has to win here in Madison Square Garden. And he has to do a quick turnaround to get into Dublin. But that's where they want him. They want him in with, I think it's John Jones fighting on that card.
Yes.
And
yep.
So
maybe it might be Shavkat Rakhmonov, another up and comer who's undefeated and made his way already to number 6. So that might be a good matchup. Some 2 top tier guys. Ian Garry just came into the UFC right after Shavkat, and Shavkat's already been, and Shavkat has a hell of a chin, and he has amazing takedowns, and I think he'll do a much better job than Neil Magny, but man, we'll see. If Stephen Thompson is not going to be taking that fight, then yeah, I think maybe Shavkat. He's up and coming, anyways.
Well,
but at the same time,
yeah, he has a fight in September 16th.
Oh shit, man! See, that's what I'm not looking at right now. September 16th.
Yeah, with Gasling.
Yep.
So then, where do we go from there? Unless they pull out or something, of that fight.
Where's Gaslam at on this fucking top?
He's actually in a different weight class. He's middleweight. He's ranked number 11 in middleweight.
Okay. Well, I guess then that's a good fight then for both of them.
Because I think everybody's fighting already except for Usman, but that's like Usman ain't gonna take that fight. He's like that. Was it Ian Garry right now is ranked number 13? I'm sure he's gonna move up, but not that far. So I'm like,
to be honest, I think Ian Garry would beat Kamaru.
So,
Kamaru doesn't have the good legs anymore. Yeah.
Bella Muhammad, I think he's on a fight soon, isn't he? Oh no, he's not in a fight right now.
And yeah, nothing lined up. He just fought back in May, so maybe
maybe Dubai. Would that be a Dubai fight? Oh no, they want him in MSG. They want him in Madison Square Garden. So I don't know. I'm curious to see who they're going to put in front of him.
Yeah.
Maybe he beat number 11. I don't know. We'll find out.
I mean, if he doesn't jump up too high in the rankings, then maybe like a Kevin Holland who doesn't have a fight. I know he just won back in July 29th, but he won that in a really impressive manner. That his turnaround is going to be pretty quick too. So maybe Kevin Holland.
But he beat Magny, which is ranked number 11, so he'll be going back. But then again, the card's stacked already. I mean, the whole card. I mean, the whole
the ranks. They're all kind of taken up right now. So I would take what I could get if I was in Garry. And I mean, Kevin Holland is definitely still a top tier guy. He just lost to like some top guys, right, like in Hamza and stuff. So I don't discredit him at all. But I mean, we'll see what happens. If not, you said Jeff Neal's fighting.
No, Jeff Neal was supposed to fight Ian Garry in this fight, but he pulled out. I think injury to his leg or something like that, or something.
So maybe Jeff Neal comes back.
Yeah, maybe he's
and he still get that fight lined up. Or Vicente Luque. No fights for him. Oh, no, I lied. He just fought back in August 12th. But, you see. We'll see what happens.
All right, let's move on here. Bautista won, which I thought was good. Decision, unanimous. And then we went to Vera, and which, of course, he won. Beat Pedro. Unanimous decision, which I was kind of disappointed, but Pedro Munhoz didn't have nothing against Vera. Vera was a better fighter. Anything about those two guys?
Nothing much, man. Those two fights were like the other guy that won definitely delivered in most of those rounds. I was hoping Pedro Munhoz was going to do a little bit more or try to get him down to the ground, right? But he never did. He just stood up and took the punishment. And Mario Bautista, that fight was going back and forth. That was that was a close one, but he still pulled away. Because in the beginning it was pretty close. Damon Blackshear was doing his thing, but Mario Bautista definitely pulled away and won his rounds. But nothing too crazy or crazy exciting. Both solid fights, though.
Yeah, because we already talked about Vera, so we can move on from there. Because I want to talk about Chris Weidman versus Brad Tavares. I don't know what to think too much. Fuck, Chris Weidman, man, he just need to check those legs. And even he said, he goes, I was surprised that Brad went for my legs. He goes, I didn't expect that. I expect some kicks, but man, I didn't expect him to go after my legs the way he did. He goes, I thought he would, do a little bit more respect, but man, he knew exactly what to go for. And Dana White was saying that Chris Weidman should retire. Like he's done, because he broke, I guess he messed up his CL, one of the MCL or ACL. So he's going to be out for a year. I still say Chris Weidman still has something in him. I still want him to come back. I don't know why Chris Weidman didn't do more strikes, really, than anything more than the last the 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I was out, throw your punches, let your hands loose. Even Matt Serra was like, just say fuck it and go after it. But I don't know, he didn't do it.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed he didn't close the space to like pretty much eliminate those leg kicks, right? And you got to eliminate the space and take him down or something. And Chris Weidman's a top tier wrestler, and like he didn't close the space and try to set up for a good solid takedown. He had some sloppy attempts for takedowns in the beginning after some desperation attempts, right? Because he was feeling the pain in the legs at that point. But it's too late now. Your legs are now compromised, and now like they're not going to have the same strength versus when you should have done it a little bit earlier when you started feeling the legs getting attacked a little bit more than you thought, But that's the whole thing, like having the guys in your corner telling you the right things. If you can hear that information being told to you, like we always talk about, it's always important to have a good corner behind you, and they got to be loud as hell to communicate, because that stadium was ridiculous, man. That stadium in Boston, they were happy to have a UFC event, and they delivered in the noise. And I can't imagine. I would have been losing my voice in the first round. I don't have that kind of voice to yell too long. But man, that was crazy. Another leg battle that a fighter lost tonight, and or that fight, and Chris Weidman was the other victim. He was the first victim of the night to get his legs taken out.
But the crowd was really behind Chris Weidman, because you heard the chants, Weidman, whatever, Chris Weidman. They were chanting for him, and they really were going for him. But if you talk about the fighters, Chris Weidman, again, he said, I'm fighting for my job, my dream, my thing. But Brad was fighting for his fucking Hawaii, for the whole, whatever, I don't know, state, city, what the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, Maui.
He was fighting for that, And that's what he was doing, So it was, they both, you both wanted them both to win, but Brad knew exactly where to attack, and he didn't think twice about it. I mean, shit, like you said, Chris Weidman was in a wheelchair afterwards, couldn't even really walk too much. The first fight, Silva versus Munhoz.
Yeah.
Did you see that? 1 second left in the fight, and she tapped out. if
That
you
was
hear
insane.
that, whatever, why do you try to tap out in the last 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Like, I don't. 1 second left. I'm like, how could you? Anyways,
Yeah, you gotta go for either make it to the next round or go to sleep at that point. Yeah, that was crazy. But shout out to Kareem, man. That was impressive fight that she did. And then the little battle on the ground, the grappling, and then she got that. What was it? A triangle?
let's see if it says it on there. It
I don't remember.
Say it. I said submission. It doesn't say, but man,
Yeah.
it was.
That was impressive. I was impressed.
Anything else on these other prelims or fighters?
Nothing too much other than Andre Petroski and Gerald Meerschaert. That was a crazy fight. They were going back and forth, and I thought Andre Petroski was going to lose, but he put it off. Had some strong rounds. It was a split decision that he won, but I was impressed by that fight. Just like two gas-out guys throwing some heavy punches that were landing, that were near like TKO, you know, but they couldn't finish the fight. But that was cool. It was a really good prelim. From the early prelims, the main card, it was just all exciting to watch with the tough fighters and the finale that happened. It was a good card.
It really was. And we didn't talk about Kurt or Brad on this one, is because it's on another podcast, and I'll put a link in the top right for you guys to listen to that, and we could go from there. You could hear what we had to say about that finale, them winning their contracts from there.
Yep.
All right, anything else?
No, I got nothing else. We're going to jump over and watch Contender Series after we just finished up the finale with the Tough now. So we're going to start following that. Other than that, we got a couple fight nights coming up with Max Holloway, the Korean Zombie. That's going to be cool to see because Max Holloway has a crazy fight background and some crazy like highlight videos to promote this fight. And then it's just kind of like a road trip for UFC. They're going to be in Singapore and then over in Paris, France for the next fight night with Gagne versus Spivak, and then down over to the down under in Australia with Adesanya and Strickland. So that's all coming up here in the next couple weeks. So it's going to be exciting.
And let us know which fight you're actually you're looking forward to, and that way we could get some little background information on that for you guys. And just remember, the times are going to be different. You know, they're not going to be probably 7 p.m. or 9 p.m. because some of these will be different time zones.
Yep.
On that. So, all right. Till next time.
Later, guys. Peace out.